Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Country with our event recap for the first month of the Batman Family crossover. Well, the annual Batman Family crossover, I guess would be a better way of putting it. Fear State. So, a quick version of what's happened to lead up to Fear State. Arkham Asylum was attacked in a gas attack, which was false, which was blamed on the Joker. Scarecrows have popped up throughout the city. Mass vigilantes are being treated as criminals in Gotham. I mean, technically speaking, they are. So, but and the city, by and large, is in the grip of fear. All manipulated by tech billionaire Simon Saint in an effort to have a test bed for his magistrate program. So we begin with Batman, Fear State Alpha. So Fear State Alpha really, first off, the big thing is that it makes clear that Saint and Crane were working on this well before A-Day happened. Apparently, Crane wrote a paper, had a theory known as the Fear State theory. It's a way to help a society evolve by delivering a tremendous shock to the system, basically. That's the nice way of putting it, at least. The not so nice way is, well, I should say more honest manner. It would be to discuss it seems more designed to control a society, so to speak. Crane also goes into what he needs. That said, Scarecrow has taken Batman prisoner and is torturing him with his fear toxin, and also utilizing modified Mad Hatter tech, which was part of his agreement with Simon Saint. Meanwhile, Peacekeeper 01 has been heavily dosed with fear toxin and let loose upon Gotham. Because, hey, you know, a cybernetically enhanced soldier with cutting-edge weaponry is exactly what the kind of person who needs to, you know, be hit with a massive psychotropic hallucinogenic drug and loosed upon a city in the grip of fucking fear. Brilliant! Actually, that's kind of part of Scarecrow's plan, so, I mean, yes, it is brilliant on Scarecrow's part. But the GCPD is trying to maintain control, but the magistrate has locked down communication. Then Oracle chimes in. Only it's not Oracle; it's an anti-Oracle. Informing them that Batman's dead. There's fear toxin spreading throughout the air, and so on and so forth. And somehow they've hacked into Oracle's system to do this. So, yeah. Oracle has to figure out how they got in. But, meanwhile, Harley and the Gardener are trying to have potentially found a place, think of a place where the Insanity Collective, who are being hunted by the police and kind of being scapegoated for being responsible for everything, can hide. The little chunk of Eden underneath Gotham, which is ruled over by none other than Poison Ivy. Only, it's not all of Ivy, just most of her. Where's the rest of Ivy, you might ask? In Alleytown, which is also under siege by the magistrate. But yeah, it's things are not looking good for for Batman and his various allies. Though he does manage to make his escape from the Scarecrow. Which brings us to the first official part of the first part of the story officially called Fear State, which was Batman 112. None of the other titles are listing theirs as being Fear State, only Batman. So yeah, but Batman makes his escape. Realizes that Scarecrow is doing more is able to do more to him than normal. So he has somehow upped his game when it comes to the fear toxin. And yeah, I think Peacekeeper 01 continues to wander, and he encounters people, and yeah, he scares the shit out of them. When Batman gets to the clock tower, Batgirl Cassandra takes him down, and Batman basically tells Oracle to utilize Ghostmaker's GhostNet tech. They discuss everything that's happened, working on putting all the pieces together, or putting together pieces they can. But in light of everything that's happening with Peacekeeper 01, Simon Saint turns his assistant into Peacekeeper X, who is basically internal affairs for the magistrate. We get a backup story featuring Clown Hunter. He fights the Scarecrow and takes a face full of fear toxin and hallucinates after being chucked off of a building. That's the simple version. Also, I'm just going to say, I really do like the new design for Scarecrow. It strikes me as being a nice kind of combination of both his design for the Arkham games as well as a more classic Scarecrow design. So, I am definitely a fan. In our next book, we've got Batman 113. And for those curious, yes, it does seem that the 112 and 113's variants do connect. Which, as I said previously, I love connecting covers. I just love them. They're the best. Yeah. It's much more just kind of putting the pieces into place. Oracle trying to figure out how to get back into her system. Gardner and Ivy headed towards Alleytown. But we get an important thing. For the first time since she became commissioner, Renee Montoya receives a visit from Batman, who informs her that the explosion at City Hall that necessitated the magistrate being okayed was set by the magistrate. The Insanity Collective, yes, have broken laws, but not to the degree that Saint is trying to push. Scarecrow's involved. It very much don't trust the magistrate. I know what's going on. I'll help. I will do what I can to help. But I'm going. You're gonna have to play ball like Jim did. Maybe not to that full effect, but basically, yeah. Batman's fighting some peacekeepers, and it's they're robot drones though, so they're much more easier for them to take down. Just but at his brownstone, he pulls out a VR helmet and a couple of VR helmets, basically modified VR helmets. They kind of look like Oculus Rifts, to be perfectly honest. Hands one to Ghostmaker and one to himself, and puts one on himself, and they go into his mind to make sure that Scarecrow didn't leave anything behind, anything extra behind. And they do manage to take care of what Scarecrow did leave behind, but Ghostmaker confesses there's something he needs Batman to know. Apparently, when they were both younger, since Ghostmaker's kind of a psychopath, Bruce basically said, "Hey, maybe you should try and understand the emotions you're trying to capitalize on." So he went to understand. He went to Gotham State University and tried to understand fear by talking with grad student Jonathan Crane. It was around the time that Crane first wrote his theory on the fear state. And he tells Ghostmaker all about it. And so now Batman has those additional pieces of the puzzle. Like, I see, more. Oh, that's a huge chunk of pieces to add to the puzzle. Cool. But the issue ends with Peacekeeper X running into Peacekeeper 01. The Clown Hunter story continues. He's still hallucinating, and he realizes at the end of the story, that he's still falling as well. Now, I guess technically speaking, this is more our next book is more background information, but Batman Secret File on Miracle Molly. Miracle Molly is not the leader of the Insanity Collective, but she's a prominent member thereof. She designs a lot of the tech enhancements that the members are given. But the Secret File is basically her origin. She was an unhappily married software. She was unhappily married. She worked at a tech firm. She had some really neat design ideas, and the boss was like, "Nah, you made these while you worked for us, so they're ours. You'll probably see them in our next wave of products. You get nothing from it. We'll thank you privately." But the one thing she enjoyed was, watching Master Wise's podcast. So she tracks him down. She steals back her work, tracks him down, and joins the Insanity Collective and erases her memories of her past life. And this is all kind of being told during a robbery where Molly and the Insanity Collective rob her husband and his family. But it's not. Yeah, it's set more before Fear State, but it does give insight on one of the prominent players, who we haven't really seen much of. I stated this back when I went over the book on the roundup. I have a really bad feeling that after James Tynion IV leaves DC in November, that we're probably not going to see much of Miracle Molly after that. Which is sad. She really does seem like an interesting character. But anyway, our next book, we've got Catwoman number 35. So first off, you've got the whole thing of there is a contract out on Selina, and the assassin, an assassin known as Father Valley, has been hired for the hit. The last issue before this resulted in him shooting Detective Hadley, her ally in the GCPD. The issue begins by explaining that the detective didn't survive. Selina talks to his partner about what happened, and also explains that she put her sister on a boat. Her sister was the initial target, not Hadley. Hadley pulled the sister out of the way and it went after him. But yeah, she can't. Her sister basically says, "I can't be near you. You're dangerous to everyone you care about." But yeah, Alleytown is being patrolled by the robot drones of the magistrate. But there are some potential allies: Killer Croc, Clayface, Knockout, Cheshire, and Firefly. I'm honestly kind of hoping that maybe we might. It's kind of nice to occasionally see a bad villain go good, because there are, you've got a lot of bad villains who are really just kind of, circumstance that has made them villains. Croc and Clayface are both in that category. But the quintet takes on the magistrate. Selina hears the false oracle's words and refuses to believe that Batman's dead, because he always comes back. Always. Amidst all the chaos, however, Riddler, who was a guest of Selina's, contacts Penguin. And amongst other things, says, "Hey, I know someone who can possibly. I know where we can control the city. Poison Ivy. I know where she is. You help me get her out of here and get her. You make me. I help you run things. You get her. But yeah, because of course." Edward Nygma is one of the most trustworthy people there is. But while making her way home, Selina runs into the magistrate, fights her way through them with an assist from Cheshire, and is able to discover that the false oracle is false. Meanwhile, Harley Quinn and the gardener are headed towards Alleytown, as is I lose the White Witch. I think that's what she's called. Basically, the assassin in the shimmer suit. Yeah, things are gonna be fun. Fun. Like that party that Iron Man brought to the Avengers in the first the first Avengers movie. You know the party I'm talking about. The one that Black Widow stated didn't look like a party at all. Yeah, that kind of fun. Next up, we've got I Am Batman Number 1, continuing the adventures of Jace Fox at his early days of becoming the next Batman. So after his first screw-ups, he's made a new suit. More streamlined, more Batman, basically. But he goes out into everything, and he's trying to do things, not to make a mess of things like he has previously, and also operating closer to the ground than Bruce does. Stops an intoxicated driver, deals with some of the people who taking the basically the city going nuts again. You know, it's Gotham City. I figure that happens like once a month, maybe more often. So you know, but you get some info on they go to the warehouse where he found some bodies. Guy's name is Vince Farrell, and Jace goes to talk to him. Meanwhile, cops find a dead mask in a pile of garbage. The dead mask in question is Anarchy. So we're continuing other stories from story arcs from Second Son miniseries, and also working in the Fear State narrative. So yeah, next up we got Nightwing 84. In Nightwing 83, Dick as Dick Grayson, not Nightwing, publicly announced the formation of the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation to improve the lives of everyone within Bloodhaven, and maybe trying to expand after that. But yeah, with Gotham going to shit, he can't really. He's gonna have to go and back to Gotham. And he's given a potential place to go. He's told to go to Park Row by Oracle. So he arrives. It is, of course, a trap. And he runs into peacekeepers. He runs into the magistrate, but he gets an assist from Batman. The two of them fight the magistrate, and then fight the magistrate for a little while, then try to evade them. But evading them using the apartments nearby they realize is making things more dangerous on those living in the apartments. So they go underground in the sewer. But they basically, Batman's got his stuff to deal with. Dick's got his stuff to deal with. So Dick heads to the clock tower to talk to Babs. He wants to help her retake her system. But she's got. So he says, "Hey, we'll walkie-talkie it, And he says, No. Then she brings out a new Batgirl suit she's been holding on to for a special occasion. The two of them looks like Nightwing and Batgirl working together to fix the problems with Oracle's network. Then we've got Detective Comics number 1043. I'll show off the cover here in a moment. So first off, this takes place basically around the same time as Batman 113. The mayor is attacked by local criminals, a group calling themselves the Kings. But Batman rescues the mayor, even though it's Nakano that hates him. It's Nakano who's made a point of saying, "Yeah, we don't work. The GCP doesn't work with masks anymore." But Nakano runs into the sewers to hide. Batman follows, and they find a creche of eggs. Eggs containing more creatures like whatever it was that was inside Hugh Vile. The backup story, it's the second part of what the fuck is Task Force Z. Jason Todd gets recruited into leading Task Force Z, a squad of a paramilitary strike team made of zombified bat villains. The lineup appears to be Bane, Man-Bat, Arkham Knight, Magpie maybe, and I don't know the other one. Finally, we've got Harley Quinn number 7. So, damn it. Finding the figuring out the timeline is not easy, but Keepsake, Harley's new villain, is using some mind control, a modified version of fear toxin to make his own army of knockoff bat villains. Blaine, Polyphonist, Sage, Swine, Exclamation, Fellow Frigid, and Sword Lady. But Hugo Strange comes in and is kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Meanwhile, Harley has taken her support group out into outside of Gotham, or to the woods outside of Gotham, in an attempt to, maybe calm down, let things calm down a bit. But someone suggests as a group activity meditation, and meditating isn't really Harley's style, She goes off into the woods with Kevin following. They run into a person who has lost a little dog named Waffle. And then they think maybe they found her in a cave. Cave is also a home bear, but, hey, what are the chances that... Oh, yeah, the bear's in there. But Harley rescues Waffle. Meanwhile, in Gotham, with all the crazy going on, Hugo Strange revisits an old pastime of his, dressing up as Batman and being a better Batman. Really just kind of, dressing up as Batman and dragging Batman's name through the mud. But Harley and Kevin manage to escape from the bear, but Harley isn't really paying attention to where she's running and does kind of start to fall off a cliff and catches up on a root, but she's saved by the arrival of the gardener and the gardener's plant dogs. Turns out that Gardner has found Ivy. And that is where the issue ends. And that's it for our month 1 recap of Fear State. We will be, at the beginning of next month, we'll be doing a recap of the finale of War of the Mountaineers, as well as the second month of Fear State. I think Fear State's only going to be a 3-month-long crossover, so it's kind of nice. Short, sweet, to the point. But anyway, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.